The CW Twin Cities presents See What's Now, your entertainment news source.
Hey everybody, John Foss, CW Twin Cities, and April 28th is National Superhero Day. So we found some superheroes of our own. We have Rick, Randy. These guys are going to be talking about Rick's bike sale. Tell us about it.
Rick's bike sale started 10 years ago. My wife and I, we mentor a couple boys in the Kids in Kinship program, and there was 6 kids in that family, and I worked in the Schwinn shop when I was a kid, so I would keep their bikes working for them and get them a bigger one at a garage sale when they needed it. And it just kind of dawned on me one day that I could buy this at a garage sale for $5 and shine it up a little bit and sell it for 30, and that worked real well. And nowadays I don't have to go to garage sales anymore because the donations just come rolling in, and this will be our 10th sale this May.
And Randy, you described this as a win-win-win-win-win.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
This will be Rick's 10th sale, and I've been aboard for about 4 or 5 years now. We figure we've saved around 2,000 bikes from the landfill, refurbished them, so there's win number 1. Those bikes all get new riders. There's win number 2. They get their bike at a reasonable price. There's win number 3. And on top of it all the money we raise, and I mean every last dollar, goes to a couple of very worthy nonprofits here in Dakota County. So there's at least 4 wins.
So how do you guys all know each other? How did you talked about a little bit, Rick, about how this got started? How did this start? And now you have people helping you out. How did that happen?
Well, I started it myself, and for the first 4 or 5 years I did it all myself, and I just put an ad in the paper saying I'm looking for storage space, I'm looking for help to make these fix these bikes up. And Randy responded. He'd read the article, and it turns out we're both from the same town, Austin, Minnesota, and I worked in the Schwinn shop down there. And Randy,
so you guys didn't know each other?
No.
Okay.
And Randy just says, that's kind of the thing I'm looking for, is this something that's not a big corporate sponsored thing or anything, just a guy doing something good for the community, and that's kind of who he is too. And so he just called me up and says, I think I could help you, and the rest is history. And it's been just amazing. I mean, last year I'm sure he spent more hours on the bike sale than I did. He's retired. I'm not retired, and he is every nonprofit in the world would love to have this guy working for him, and that's one of my fears, is somebody's going to steal him away from me. But he'll do anything we ask, and he's on everything, and no job remains undone. It's been a great relationship, and we've developed into a very nice friendship.
So when you came to the realization that you could buy bikes and then fix them up and sell them for a profit, why did you, instead of kind of using that profit for yourself, decide this is something I can do to help other people? What was it that sparked in your mind to do that?
Well, I think that's my basic Christian value, I guess, is to help other people is what it's about for me. I'm an insurance agent, and if I start selling bikes on my own, that's going to create all kinds of issues for me. But no, I just think it's as I've gotten older, you just want to give back, and if I found a way that I can give back that I really enjoy, it means a lot to me, and it just works for me. I mean, I guess we all try to find our calling, and I think I've really found my calling here. I think it's something that I can do for a long time into the future.
And you guys have a lot of people helping you out now that the word is kind of caught on, and there's companies helping you out, there's other people. What do you guys do to the bikes, and how do other people help in the process?
Right now we get at least as many and probably more donated bikes than we can handle, just because of capacity and what we can actually sell. So we support a couple of urban bike shops with our donations too. We recycle some bikes, so nothing that comes in through us ends up back in the landfill right away. The folks that help us on sale day come from all over. Rick's got a bunch of neighbors that help out. I've got some neighbors that help out. Rick's brother Dave helps out a whole bunch with different things. I've got some friends with pickup trucks that help us with hauling, and they'll do whatever you ask because they believe in the program. Rick got involved through his Kids in Kinship mentoring thing. I got involved now. My wife works for DARTS, the senior services nonprofit, so now we've got people from them helping out on the volunteer side. So we're supporting a kid support nonprofit and a senior support nonprofit. There's kind of a neat parallel we have going right now where we're covering both ends of the spectrum. That's very rewarding.
I think one thing that I'd like to point out is people you know, all the bikes nowadays are donated, and people really are happy to donate the bikes. It's not like we're trying to, you know, drag a donation out of them. They genuinely, can't even say it, they want to donate that bike, and they're happy that they found a good cause that's, you know, that they can donate it to. So it's, that's an interesting thing, I think.
And it makes sense in the city too, because isn't the Twin Cities one of the most bike-friendly cities around the country?
It is. It's usually Minneapolis or Portland, Washington that is, or Portland, Oregon that is one or two in the country for biking.
For people that may be thinking about showing up to this event, what are some, just to give them kind of an idea, what are some of the prices that they might be looking at?
Pricing is going to be probably from $20 up to $500, and you know, we don't have a lot at 20 and we don't have a lot at 500, but there's everything in between. I mean, there'll be a ton of bikes in the $65 to $200 price range, and it just depends upon the quality of the bike, but we'll have every size, every color. There's going to be over 450 bikes at the bike sale this year, and you know, if you can't find what you want there, it probably hasn't been made yet. Yeah. So
for one day, based on my research, for one day, the biggest bike shop in the world is right here in Apple Valley, coming up on May 12th. Rick does a great job pricing the bikes. They range, you know, you can, and unlike a garage sale, our bikes have all been cleaned, lubricated, adjusted, ready to ride. We'll adjust it for you on site, and we try to charge, I think, Rick, you know, somewhere between a quarter to a half of maybe what that bike would have cost brand new. People get a good deal.
And when and where does this event take place?
Event will be at Superior Auto Service, which is right downtown Apple Valley. It's the Goodyear tire dealership. He's right on Cedar Avenue. You can't miss it. It's at the 147th Street bus stop. If you go to our website, ricksbikesale.com, all the details will be there. And as we're standing here talking, there's a lady dropping off a bike out front. So.
Perfect. All right.
Yep, if people want to ride a bike home, we're right on the red lines, 147th Street stop. It'll drop you right in the middle of the bikes. So
Okay.
That's another option for getting to the sale.
And what about people that want to help volunteer or give to the cause?
I would say if we have people that want to help volunteer, to get a hold of Randy or I, and our contact information again will be on the website. Donations, if people want to just make cash donations, there'll be jars at the bike sale for that if they can make it, or otherwise, you know, send the check or whatever they want to do. And again, information should be on the website. Yeah.
And you have some kids that volunteer also to help test out bikes. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got a couple of neighbor kids I live across the street that are our official test riders.
Okay.
There's pictures of them on our website, ricksbikesale.com, which I'd urge people to take a look at. More information about the sale. Yep, and sometimes we test ride them ourselves just because that's fun.
And you also, I noticed when I came in here, you guys have a supervisor named Eddie. Tell us about Eddie.
Well, Eddie the bike dog has been a sponsor from day one here of Rick's Bike Sale, and he supervises all the work and test rides all the bikes before we put them in the sale, just to make sure that they're of high quality.
And does he push you guys pretty hard?
Eddie's a good enough supervisor where he doesn't need to push hard.
Okay, great.
Eddie is very laid back.
Awesome. And you guys sold 422 bikes last year. Do you guys have is that right? And then also, what are you guys looking to do this year?
Last year we sold or gave away 400 and some bikes last year, and we donated almost $35,000 to the nonprofit. And Rick, since he started 9 years ago, has donated now over $130,000, and that's all on little to zero minimal expense. You know, 100% of the money that we'll have for proceeds ends up going to support the nonprofits that we support and love.
And what are some of the nonprofits that you guys are working with?
Well, there's two that the first 8 years or the first 9 years we gave all the money to Kids in Kinship, which matches adult mentors with kids that need mentors in Dakota County. And then starting this year, we're going to split the proceeds equally between Kids in Kinship and DARTS, which is a senior organization in Dakota County whose main focus today is to help elderly people stay in their homes for as long as possible.
Great. And the mentorship program that you talked about, how does that work? I think, is it the mentors work with the kids for at least a year? And tell us about what actually goes on there.
Well, the Kids in Kinship mentoring program, my wife and I have been doing that for 11 years, and it's the commitment is 2 hours a week for a year. And of course, you don't get anything done in 2 hours, so it ends up being 4 or 5 hours. But you just basically get together with the child, and you don't do anything huge and big, and all the time anyway, and spend tons of money on them. It's just just let them know you care, just be involved in their lives, and just be with them. Our probably what we do most of the time is our kids came from a family of 6 kids and a single mother, and they it's kind of chaotic at their house, especially when they're younger. So he likes to come over here. It's nice and quiet at our house. We have dinner, we watch a movie, and and talk, and that's a good evening. And I worked in a Schwinn shop when I was a kid. When I was about 8 years old, I went over and started putting bikes together. My friend's dad owned it, and it was just a little small family shop. And the household I grew up in was kind of a crappy household, and I think the owner of the bike shop saw that, and he gave me a place to come to and taught me how to fix bikes, and I could go there anytime I wanted, and I did. And and now 50 some years later, I'm he was officially a mentor to me. It wasn't an official mentor back then. Unofficially he was. And now 50 years later, I'm kind of using the skills that he taught me to help a mentoring program. And so it's kind of come full circle, which I think is kind of an interesting part of this whole deal.
Well, Rick, Randy, thank you so much for being with us. And Twin Cities, make sure you check out Rick's bike sale May 12th.